Or stressed out as a college student? That's what I thought. Okay, so it's let me just make sure. Is this because of your life, school, and everything in between, or is it just one or the other?
Everything.
Everything? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Me too. So. What I wanted to tell you before I get into this situation, this is a picture of my mother. She died October 15th, 1999. I was 8 years old, and she had a heart attack. So I went through a very, very deep depression. I was a little advanced for my age, so I did, therapists really couldn't figure out how to talk to me or figure out how to get me to open up. So I needed an outlet because I got into a lot of trouble. So what I'm going to talk to you today is about writing poetry and songs to get through life as a college student, but generally it can be used for everyday life. So my main points today are going to be stress and how it leads to depression, and how to help yourself without having to seek, help from the therapy or from an outside outlet, because some people may not be able to afford it, can't afford a therapist. Sometimes you don't feel comfortable talking to somebody about your situation because you don't know. There's so many reasons why people don't seek help, and instead of sitting in that with yourself, this is another outlet for you to get it out, to just feel a little more release. Sorry, that's supposed to come up first. Okay, so stress. I actually did a survey on Facebook because I couldn't really find any statistics, which networking is pretty awesome when you can use it for everything. So what I did was I asked a few friends what their top 3 stresses were. So we got grades, of course, because it's difficult, and what is the point of being in college? Grades. So that's obviously going to be one of your biggest points where you just can't stand it, because you're always trying to make sure you got the proper grades so you can either graduate now or move on to another point in college to go up if you're going for your bachelor's or higher. Financial aid is a big plus because everybody deals with financial aid, and they are not very easy to deal with. And life, as you can see, I picked this picture because it kind of shows all the little things that kind of intertwine within your life that make it so difficult. And how this can actually lead, not always to depression, but it can. So I actually found some information where they pointed out the main 3 common depressions that a college student usually will go through. And it's a smaller amount, but the biggest one is major, the most important one is major depressive disorder, which is also known as major depression, which you actually go through probably 1 episode in your whole lifetime, but in between that, it runs your whole life. You really can't focus, you really can't pay attention, you really can't make sense, and this is actually the depression that I went through when I was little. And it can be very traumatic. Then the middle one is dysmorphic disorder, which is also known as a mild chronic depression, which mostly, it's more minor than the major depressive disorder, but it can also still affect your life, not really in a way that you would expect. Actually, I'm dealing with this disorder, but as you can see, I'm very happy. So the episodes don't really come around as often. You can have a few within your whole lifetime, but if you're able to control it, or if you're able to be more positive, like Joey, you can actually use it and kind of, not really suppress it, but kind of put it aside so that it doesn't control your life. And then, it's a progressive stage, I think. And then minor depression is the most common that most college students get because it's everyday life. there's just some situations where you just cannot handle it, or you feel like it's so over the top that you're just going to explode. And you sit there and you're dealing with this little depression where, you know, you can still work with every day, you can still deal with your situation, but you just don't feel like anybody else hears you. So you really don't say anything about it. And the problem about this one is it may be less severe, but it can put you at risk of going into major depression. So you do need to pay attention if you catch on to the fact that you're feeling like nothing makes you happy. And actually, in 2009, I had to write that because it's so many words. The American College Health Association National College Health Assessment reported 30% of students nationally reported that they can be so depressed that it was so difficult to function, which is a pretty big amount when you think nationally. And my third point is to help yourself. So poetry and songwriting is a great outlet. It's a great way to express yourself, a great way to just, you know, put it all on the table. And if you don't want to, you don't have to let people see it. You can have your own little personal journal in your drawer, you know. So this is actually related to my mother, which is the reason why I started writing. I don't know if you can see it. It says that burgundy binding with a cream color supports all my thoughts expressed. I love the manila pages that lays all my words to rest. When I open the cover and look through the pages, I read over my words and reflect on what I've said. They are so descriptive, these teeming thoughts that have escaped my head. Until those manila pages remain safe, for which my mother is encrypted within this history book, with the cover as her face. When I speak to her with ink, the words, thoughts, and feelings seem to never be forgotten, and I can talk to her at any time, reminisce and remember how much she is a good listener. I love my journal just as much as I love my mother. And that was to help me kind of, I actually started writing my journal, and my journal is like how I talk to her. So I actually have an old journal that has the yellow manila pages, literally, that looks kind of like a history book or something you see from like 70 years ago. And it's my way of talking to her. My poems are my thoughts, discussing with her. And then, oh yeah. So also writing songs is a great way to release. And as you see, this lady is very excited and happy because she's emotionally released. She's free. And so my review is poems. Personal opinions needed to be expressed from the mind. And poetry. And my memorable statement, I kind of did a little tweak. Please do not laugh at me. I got sick last week, but I'm still going to try and sing it anyway. This is lyrics to a song that I wrote. The numbers on the clock go by as I watch. And here I am alone, sitting here at home, wishing that my life had more happiness, hoping to find how my life ever ended up like this. But one day I'll find a way, and I'll have a better day. Hey, sadness, go away, come back another day. Give me back my nice life that slowly fades away. I turned around and found out how I ended up like this, and it all started out with a kiss, yeah. Sorry. It's really I'm still sick, I'm sorry. Okay, any questions?
You go, girl. Yeah. Wow.
I'm glad you chose it, and you did wonderful on it. I believe in that outlet. My sister has done this poetry outlet. She's been published for this type of work to during your high school years. I find it actually it does help along with things when I'm listening to music and such for me when I'm in a very depressed mood.
It does.
And also, I wanted to ask you earlier when you said this, you had dysthymia disorder for the depression.
Yeah, I've been in and out of therapists since I was 8, and I think I've had like maybe 5, and only one of them was able to get to me, and that was actually only 3 years ago. My biggest outlet to get through everything, my situations and my struggles, was writing and singing.
How did it affect you personally, like going through school and all that?
Well, as you can see, I also have eczema, so I dealt with a lot of people being, excuse my language, asses. And, the only difference was I came off intimidating because I was a brolic kind of girl, I was thicker, so people didn't, they messed with me, but behind my back. So, if I flinched at you, you didn't really say anything. But I still had, a lot of people still kind of make fun of me, ask me what's wrong with my skin. And then on top of that, having to deal with not having a mother when my graduation, when I got engaged, all of that. It was difficult, but as you can see, I always try to be positive. And just remember that God is always going to bless me.
Bro.
Yes, sir.
Can I just say that your singing voice is incredible?
I'm actually still sick.
No, if you were not sick, you'd probably do good. Well, you did good today. So
Thank you.
I know what you're trying to say.
You can take it off now.
Also, I actually sang. I was in chorus for 4 years, and when, like in high school, whenever there'd been weeks where I was just really depressed, I would just usually just in my house just sing, just in my room,
right?
and it just really helps.
It does.
It makes you free.
Exactly like what you were saying before. It helps you especially when you find a song that you like. It helps. Any other questions? Yes.
No, I just wanted to say that that was phenomenal. Like, you put your own personal story. You did the singing. Like, you really blew my mind right now.
Thanks.
Very great.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm coming.
This is a combo question. Is this the last speech, or are we going to have more?